Hello, my name is David Millward and I'm a product manager at R3. In this video, we're going to be looking at a new tool for notary operators available in Corda Enterprise 4.5. This tool allows you to query information about a particular state. It can tell you whether the state has been seen before by the notary. It can tell you whether it's already been spent. It can tell you about all the attempts to spend that state, whether successful or not, when they occurred, and who made the attempts. Now let's take a look at a demonstration by Ramzi El Yafi from R3's engineering team. We join the start of the demonstration with two console windows open, ready to show the tool in action.
The left terminal is running on the Notary, and the right terminal is running on a node that is then notarizing via that Notary. For the purposes of this demo, what I have a double spend Corda app running on this node. So this is a test Corda app that we have internally that will go and create a state, spend it, and then attempt to double spend it a configurable number of times. What I'm going to do here is just create one state, spend it, and then attempt to spend it again, just the once. So let's kick that off. This will return warnings and errors because it's been hacked for the purpose of this demo, but it should do what we want. So what we can see now, look in the logs on this node, what we should find is that we have an entry here, and we're unable to notarize transaction, so he failed on the second one, and we've got a state reference here. Now, as it stands today, this isn't particularly useful information without then going and doing something to extract that information out of the database. What we can now do is run that via the spent state audit tool. The minimum amount of information you need to provide to this tool for it to be useful is an RPC username and password. It will take that from the node configuration if it's defined in there. Otherwise, you have to specify it on the command line. And you then just give it a state reference. Again, this will take a minute just to fire up. Right, so this has now gone and returned information about the state. And what we can see is that there were two events. The latest event was the failure. So that means that was a double spend attempt. We've got the transaction ID there when it happened. And we have the successful spend event, which was the earliest event. So you could imagine that generally your successful event is going to be the oldest one. If you have a high availability cluster and multiple worker nodes, you might have one or two failures, I suppose, if you end up sending the same request to multiple workers in the cluster. One nice feature we have as well is that timestamps can always be a bit awkward in terms of presenting that in an information that's usable. By default, the tool returns timestamps in the server's time zone, so this is UTC, but of course we're in British summertime now, so that isn't quite right. And if we've got a query and wanting to return information to the user, you might want to tell them about the information in their time zone. So you can actually specify this. And what you'll see now is that it has gone and returned those timestamps now in the UK time. Obviously, this is a really simple example. Maybe this will cover quite a chunk of our real use cases, but it's also possible that we end up with a number of double spend attempts. Maybe the Corda app has got a failure and then keeps on, it's got application logic to keep on retrying, keeps on generating new transactions to try and spend that state again and again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trigger the double spend Corda app again, but I'm going to do 20 double spend attempts rather than just the one. Again, if we look at the logs, just to get the state reference for that. Okay. And we can pump that into the tool as well. So what you'll notice now is we've got a load more results. Again, they're sorted in reverse chronological order, so the newest is at the top. You'll also notice is that we've actually stopped. So out of the box, we'll only return 10 results at a time. That's both for performance reasons and also so the user can actually digest the results that are coming back. And the user's then prompted whether they want to get more results. So they can either exit at that point, or if you hit yes, it will get the next 10 results. See, we've got another set there, and you can see that they've continued on. And then we have 21 results in this case because we had 20 failed spends and one successful one. So if we hit yes again, we get that final successful event. If you want to show more or less results, you can do that as well. So if we set this to 25, we should get all of the results back in one go now. Which you can see, yeah, that's absolutely everything. There's also ability to do filtering. So one common use case may be that people aren't really interested in the double spend events. They're only interested in when was the actual successful spend event. So there's an option for that too. So this you would always expect to return you exactly one event. Which is done. And you can also specify a time range as well. So it may be that you know, the customer is able to give you a timestamp when they sent the transaction and you're interested in events around that time. Obviously, it's a bit artificial on this system because we've sent everything in together, so the timestamps are very close to each other. But we could still, if we wanted to, say we're only interested in events that are, you know, within say after 9:44, sorry, 15:09:44 here. So you can specify a start time. So we've got 3 events back there. Specify that I and end time as well. Let's say we only want to go to 025. Again, it's filtered out that latest event. And then finally, that if you do supply a time zone as well, then those times that you supply respect that time zone as well. So if we do London time again, this now actually isn't going to return anything because we've not actually adjusted our start and end time to reflect that. If we now go back and adjust those times, and we've got those results back, and again, it's rendered them in that time zone as well.
I hope you found this video informative, and don't forget to check out our other videos about new features in Corda Enterprise 4.5. As always, you can read more at docs.corda.net. That is docs.corda.net. Thank you for watching.